Welcome back to another video. Now, not all Orgonite is created equal, that is for sure. So, what's different from, well, a lot of people don't actually make it, in my opinion, proper. Alright, so you need to use, the materials that you need to use very high quality metal powders. Alright, something that's very clean. So instead of going to a machine shop where they might be covered in either oils or dust or something like that or whatever, it has to be from a clean, pure source. So we use, like, for example, 100% pure copper powder, yeah, and iron oxide powders, and everything's powdered brass, aluminium, even red iron oxide as well. We got some of that. We haven't done too much of that, but we use that as well. So now, if you see large metal chunks in your Organite devices, and you can see the actual individual metal pieces, basically you shouldn't buy it because it's not going to be that strong. It's going to be very weak at best. Now, how do you know this? Well, you can look up the Casimir effect. Now, I've got a video where I try to explain how our Organite actually works, all right? And you'll actually see the thumbnail or whatever it is with this piece here, all right? This is my personal piece, but I came up with 5 or 6 different ways that Organite actually works, or how it works, alright? So yeah, you can go and check that out. It'll be on the screen somewhere at some point, either now or at the end of the video. So yeah, you can watch that and hear my explanation and how these things actually work. So you got the Casimir effect, and yeah, just go ahead and watch that video and it does explain it. But yeah, basically what I want to get to is, not all Organite devices are created equal, not even close, So if you see large metal chunks, don't buy it, basically. They might make them very pretty, but you can make them pretty. Like this here, to me, I think looks pretty good for what it is, what's in it. We jammed this pack full of powders and crushed up powdered crystals to make them really powerful, and other stuff, so there's no wastage. There's a lot more surface area in this stuff. But if you see large metal chunks, then say you got a metal piece this big, that's taken up all that room just with that one piece, where you could have hundreds of powders in there and then the resin in between, creating hundreds of layers. But if you've got one big piece of metal, that's one layer. You've got one bit of metal with resin surrounding it, and then you have one bit of metal with resin surrounding it. And sometimes they're not actually made properly, meaning regardless of what you're using, large metal pieces or not, it's how you mix it. So a lot of people get, just for the muffin pan, tower buster style, this sort of shape or what have you, they'll go ahead and get large metal shavings. They'll put it in there, just dry, nothing, no resin yet, and they'll shove it all in there, and then they'll go ahead and pour the resin. Now, all the metal pieces are physically touching each other. There's no gap. You actually want a very fine, very small microscopic gap where the resin is actually in between the metals, separating it so they're not touching. So by doing this, that's what creates that Casimir effect. Now in science and physics, it actually produces 0-point energy in their language, or chi, or manna, or prana, lifeforce energy, Orgone energy. Okay, it actually manifests it. Just the fact that it's very close, it attracts, accumulates, bounces back and forth, manifests it, amplifies it, or what have you. But yeah, even if you Google it, it'll actually say on the old Google that it'll actually manifest and create this 0-point energy. All right. So they're not doing it. It's how you make it. The materials make it a lot stronger depending on what you use, like what we do here. All right. So not many devices are actually using this way, this method or whatever. Now, I could go ahead and get metal powders and do the same thing. Just put the metal powders in there, pour resin. It will seep through, and you've got a solid piece of resin and metal basically. But the metal is going to be somewhat. It's all going to be touching, and it's not going to do the same thing. What you need to do is get your resin, mix it up, whether it's epoxy or polyester or whatever resin you're using. You do want something that's going to shrink, or a hot condition that's going to help shrink the resin. That's for the crystals mainly, but it'll also help the metal powders and that get in closer proximity to each other, still without touching. But you need to get your resin, mix it up, add your metal, regardless of what metals you're using, what size, whatever. Powders is best. Then mix it, like flat out, like mix the shit out of that to get it all separate, get it all whatever, and each individual piece of metal coated in resin. When you go to pour it, it's gonna, obviously squish up a little bit. Metal's gonna be heavier. It's gonna try to sink, but depending on the temperatures and what resin you're using, how thick the resin is, blah blah blah. So the thicker the resin, obviously, the more suspended it's gonna be. It's gonna be better. Now the ratios of metals, that's a big one. Now, depending on what you do, if you do some research, ratio of metal, what you're supposed to do online, you're going to see this 50-50 crap. So 50% metal, 50% resin, yada yada. But what metal size are you using? What type of resin are you using? All comes into play. Now when you're using powders, we've got a specific ratio that we believe works really well. And it's not 50-50. All right. So what you got to actually play around with that yourself. All right. Maybe you've got a friend or something that's kind of sensitive to these energies or whatever. Reiki people or very intuitive people. You'll have to test them. There is certain machines in that you can't forget. Well, you can do blood cell analysis, live blood cell analysis and stuff like that, with and without your Orgone device, Orgonite piece, to see how it affects, to gauge what's stronger and what's not. But we are set on what ratios we use, and we're just we keep that to ourselves, right? So, because it might not, someone else can come along with a completely different concoction. What I mean is what metals, the size, what mesh. Is it 200 mesh? Is it really fine? Is it 100? Is it what? Depending on what they're doing, what resin, everything. It all works in combination. So we do it a certain way, and that's how we make it. And it does work quite strong. Now we've got the LM4 life energy meter, and we actually test that. Test it with that to gauge the life force energy. So with this machine, you can actually grab a piece of plant. So just for a tree, for example, any tree, pick a tree, but go and grab a leaf off that tree, and then on that same tree, grab like a leaf that's dying or ready to fall or whatever, like completely different. So you got a nice healthy green one and say a brown one or turning brown or dying. You can put the dying one on the machine, and it reads maybe a little bit or nothing because it's dead or whatever. But then you go the green leaf, and it will be like, it'll give you because it's full of life. It's alive. You can do that with any plant, or doesn't matter. You can test water. You can test whatever has got life force energy, basically anything that's alive or has some sort of energy value about it. So like a quartz crystal will have a reading. It's got energy about it. These here have an energy reading about it. So you can actually gauge what piece, is stronger. All right. So this here, this is a different piece that this is from a different person. This is Rohla. He knows his stuff. And this is what he sells on his website, okay? So he calls this his ormicide. It's not Orgonite. It's different configuration. He's still got crystals and stuff in there. He uses powders as well. That's his, and this is one of ours, okay? So we actually tested these two, so ours and his head-to-head with this machine, and ours measured as strong, if not slightly stronger than what his was, okay? And we did it with charge plates, and we did it with his pendants that he sells, like the ones he sell on his website versus the ones we make. And ours come out way stronger, okay? Just buy this machine, go and buy this machine. It measured a lot stronger through that device that we have, the LM4 life energy meter, okay? So, basically, if you see large metal pieces in your Orgonite, whatever, even if it's really pretty, you might want it. If you're going to get a pretty Orgonite, buy buy it for its prettiness, not its functionality. Because if it's really, really pretty and nice and spectacular and you can see the big metal pieces in there, it's not going to function. If you want it for protection and all the rest of it, you need something that's made properly, okay? And it might not be as pretty, but it'll be like, yeah. Anyway, so any of our stuff, what we make is, we try to make it as pretty as possible, but very, very high functional and powerful. And we know because we can gauge what it measures by that device. It's a very expensive device. And went ahead and purchased it just to help prove. And, you know, there was a thing like upon purchase, or, you know, thinking about it like, oh, what if we spend all this money on this device and get it, you know, sent here to us. Comes from Canada. They make it in Canada, this company. But there was a moment where, what if I get it and it doesn't read anything? Like maybe our devices just don't work. Prior to that, we did do plant growth experiments and the freeze test, the water, and you know, we had good results with that. So we knew it worked. And I knew these copper coils have an effect, the way they throw the energy out, okay? Clockwise position, depending on which end you're, if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. The energy likes to flow clockwise, the negative goes in counterclockwise, and it changes the rotation, spits out only the good stuff. But yeah, so we did know that these things actually worked. And just wearing them, like this here, or carrying it, because this is a pocket piece, we call this a pocket piece, is more slim design. I carry this in my pocket everywhere I go. If I go to work, it's in my pocket. If I, even if I go to bed, I'll have it like on me or near me, bedside table. You know, so by having pieces around us, makes us feel better. You get more energy, you feel better. So you're always protected from any outside source. Like if you're going in a shopping center, there's Wi-Fi's everywhere. People's got their cell phones everywhere. There's cell phone towers on the roof. You know, you need protection from all that. That's messing up your whole body's cellular communication. We're energetic beings. All that stuff passes through our body. Now, this here is going to grab hold of that and transmute it and make your own body's energies and aura stronger, okay? And it's going to make all that stuff that's beaming through us, all that from the technology, much less quieter. Therefore, your cells can actually communicate better. You feel better. You feel stronger, feel healthier. When you sleep, you can heal. Accelerated healing, which is what your body's supposed to and designed to do, is heal at night. You lose weight at night. That's the only time you lose weight. So, you know, you can weigh yourself before an intense exercise. When you're done, weigh yourself after. The weight hasn't changed. It's only when you go to sleep and wake up, weigh yourself. That's where the weight goes. It's, you know, during your sleep cycle. It's when your body's trying to sort everything out that you did during that day and heal and all the rest of it, okay? That should be a no-brainer, but not many people, you know, we don't really get taught this stuff. You have to hunt for information. This stuff here, you have to hunt for it, and you have to be open-minded, because a lot of people will just write this off as just crap, woo-woo, new age bullshit. It ain't. It's not, you know. The piezoelectric property. If you don't think about the piezoelectricity, you know, quartz under pressure, like certain crystals under pressure, like quartz is perfect example. You can get 2 pieces of quartz. You can go outside and you'll probably find 2 pieces of quartz somewhere. I believe something like 12% of the whole Earth's crust or the surface is quartz. So you can find it everywhere. So if you go out in your backyard, you find a couple of rocks, you know, if it's quartz, you can actually go in a dark room or somewhere dark and just get 2 of them together and just rub them or whatever, or you can hit them and you'll actually see a spark. Alright, it'll spark off. It's a very easy, simple experiment to do. Just rub 2 pieces of quartz together, hard, or strike them together, dark room, you'll see the spark, okay? That's piezoelectricity. Not only that, you don't have to smack it or whatever. You can actually squeeze. If it's squeezed, if it's in a vise under pressure, or in resin, because it shrinks. Now it's under constant pressure, it'll actually throw out this orgone energy or scalar waves or whatever have you. It'll actually produce and amplify the natural ability of the crystal, its benefits, and it'll actually throw it out and it amplifies it because it's under that pressure, under that stress. It it's more, okay? Yeah, and not only that, like, you know, your grill lighters for your gas, or that tick when you try to, you know, light your grill, or your little lighters with the flame, and you click it, tick, tick, tick. That tick is something smacking a piece of quartz and sending up a spark which ignites the gas. Just look it up. It's just simple. So quartz crystals in general have energy. You know, it's all in all your devices, your computers, your cell phones, TVs, whatever, crystals. You know, they have an energy about it. That's for sure. But yeah, guys, just a video basically about our Orgonite. We make good stuff. I don't want to sell anyone stuff that I don't think is working. I started out making this stuff for us, for me, basically, and then you know, and I wanted it to work, so I did a lot of research. I actually spent 5 years, a lot of the time, just research. To this day, I constantly am looking for information all the time about this stuff, or about just all sorts of stuff in general, because you have to hunt for certain information, because the mainstream media and what we're taught in schools and all the rest of it, that's somewhat manipulated and not all truth. I don't think so. You have to hunt for certain information. There's no way you learn in school about Nikola Tesla or Wilhelm Reich, for example. You just don't go there. Now, Tesla was a big deal. He's genius. But Einstein, you know, everyone knows Einstein, right? I would say Tesla was way above Einstein. All right, but that's my point of view. And there's some of the stuff that Tesla could do, and whatever, like even like anti-gravity stuff like that. He got shut down. No matter where he went and what he did. He had free energy. He could have healed the planet and all the rest of it. Einstein just had his equations, whatever, and you can make maths do whatever the fuck you want maths to do. And everyone, like, who understands what, you know, all these equations? The average Joe Blow has no idea. You have to be very high up, PhD and blah blah blah, and all this stuff, their lingo and their maths, and how to follow it all to make sense of it. And it's just another language that they've made up to get whatever result they want, you know. So it can be very manipulative or whatever. But you know, and we just go, oh, that's smart, they've worked it all out, so we don't have to think for ourselves. But yeah, if you start thinking for yourself and you start searching, the more you look, the more you'll find, you know, and the truth normally will be revealed to you. Now, there's a lot of hogwash out there. You got to filter that out for yourself. You've got to decide what's good and what's not. But yeah, guys, quick video. Get some Orgonite. You'll feel the benefits basically with this stuff around. Okay, closer it is to you, the better. The bigger the Orgonite, the better. Different effects from different things. For example, pyramids are best outside. That's for sure. For the geoengineering or chemtrails, cleaning up the atmosphere, because they do throw out of their point. Energy likes to flow out of points and tips and things like that. So it actually creates a nice strong vortex out of the tip. It will create a localized Orgone field or scalar field or whatever you want to call it, as well, like a toroidal sort of field going one way and the other way, but a strong vortex out of the tip. These, for example, do more like a sort of a bubble-like effect. So depending on what you want it for, whatever. But you can put Orgonite wherever, it doesn't matter where. But this here, with the copper coil like that there, is actually going to help this throw the energy up and out in a direction of up. Okay, so depending on where you want to put this, you know where it's going to be, you know, focused. You know, where you want that to go, like it's going towards the camera right now. Yeah, okay. So yeah, guys, quick video. Don't even know if I'll upload it, but this is S from s&a'sorgnitecreations. If you want any of our stuff, any pictures of what's available, just email us, and I'll be happy to send you pictures, and you know, the price listing and how we go about, yeah, the shipping and stuff like that. We you know, look into, no matter where you are in the world, work out the shipping costs for you, for your address, and you know, give you everything that you want, whatever. If you want certain pieces or whatever, how much it's going to cost, the weight, this is what shipping is, and we send it off to you. It's very simple, and we pay through PayPal. We accept PayPal, and yeah, that's all you got to do. It's just contact us and we'll sort you out. But yeah, guys, stay tuned for more videos, and thanks for watching.